Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you the 5 steps to building a great AI agency in under an hour. If you don't know who I am, my name's Tommy. I have my own AI agency called Arose AI. I'm also starting my own community to help people like you build AI agencies. It's completely free. The link's down in the bio, along with all my socials if you want to see stuff I've uploaded in the past. Just one side note on this opportunity, an AI agency is what took me from literally having $300 in my bank account, about to go broke trying to start businesses, to now having a very comfortable income and being able to help others like you, as well as businesses, automate so many of their tasks. And so, just a quick overview, the 5 steps to building an AI agency are choosing your niche, choosing your service, setting up the software that you need, finding businesses in your niche, and then you can start selling to them. First off, I want to talk about choosing your niche. And if you're familiar with the SMMA space or even e-commerce, you should know what a niche is. But if you don't, generally what a niche is focusing the companies you're marketing towards and the service you're providing on a specific industry or target profile. For example, you could sell makeup products for women or hygiene products for men. And in those two scenarios, it would be men would be the niche in one example, and women would be the niche in the other. And so what does this look like for an AI agency? Well, there's really 2 different paths you can go. You can either have a general AI agency where you sell a broad range of products to almost any business. Or you could have a niche AI agency where you target a specific industry like realtors, e-commerce stores, SaaS products, things like that. And so here I just have some pros and cons of both general and niche agencies. And just a side note, both of these work, both of these make a lot of money. It's just what's tailored to you, the way you want to work, and your overall goals. So starting out with a general agency, which is what I have, is you have broader market reach because technically your total addressable market is everyone, every business. You can benefit a lot more from inbound content creation. For example, the videos on my YouTube channel have drove a lot of business for me in a variety of different niches and industries. Whereas when I first started out, I tried to make content specifically for realtors, and it's just a lot harder to come up with ideas and make entertaining videos when you're so narrow. One side note is that content creation, that's mostly limited to YouTube. If you go on somewhere like X or another platform like LinkedIn, it's a lot easier to target towards a niche with content creation. The third thing is diversified revenue streams. For example, if you work with a specific industry like realtors, which I used to do, and then there's a huge downturn in the market, realtors aren't making as much, a lot more of them will stop spending money, stop hiring people to automate their services as less leads come in. And so when you're diversified, even if one industry falls, another might rise, and you can end up getting a lot more clients. And the last pro for a general agency is creativity. You get to be a lot more creative when you're a general agency because you're working with a big variety of people as well as solving a wide variety of problems in a bunch of different businesses. If you're someone that needs a bunch of different things to work on to keep yourself interested and happy, then a general agency would be the way to go as you're solving a bunch of unique problems. One more thing I just want to add is that with a general agency, you'll end up seeing a lot more problems and might identify a hidden niche that you didn't know about. Whereas if you're a niche agency, you won't see that because you're so siloed with the industry you're working with. Now, there are cons to a general agency. For example, more work. If you're building a variety of AI products and tools for a bunch of different industries that you have to learn about, then it's going to take a lot more time and be a lot more work for you. Again, more competition, because you're not only competing with every other general agency, you're also competing with the niche agencies in every single niche. Then the last 2 are less authority and less expertise. It's really easy as a niche agency to market yourself as the AI guy for X, the AI guy for realtors, the AI guy for SaaS companies, the AI guy for plumbers, and really get narrow and be an expert in that field. Whereas if you're a general agency, that'll either take a lot more time or may never come. Building off of what I was just talking about, it's a lot easier to build expertise and authority in a niche agency because you're focusing on really a handful of problems that plague that industry. And you can get deep and you're talking to people in that industry all day, every day, that you understand their problems so intimately, you might even understand it better than them. The second thing is you can do targeted marketing. For example, you can make posts like calling out all realtors instead of calling out all business owners. And especially if you're doing cold outreach or cold email, those can convert a lot better because you're calling out them specifically. And then third, it's easier to stand out. Like I said, with general agencies, you're competing with everyone. If you're a niche agency, especially if you pick a really unique niche, you might be one of a handful of people in that niche offering those services. Fourth is productization. This is a flip side of the more work con for general agencies. With a niche agency, you will likely be building the same tool over and over, and you'll learn how to build it really well. It can even copy and paste elements of it. So you can deliver high value services and AI products for very low cost. And then the last thing is higher perceived value. A person in a niche agency can charge more than a general agency because they are specific and they have that expertise and authority I was talking about. For example, someone in a niche agency could charge $1,000, $2,000 a month for an AI chatbot or AI voice caller specifically for realtors, whereas someone in a general agency might only be able to charge $500 to $1,000 just because they don't have that expertise and authority in the field that the other person does. The two cons, however, for a niche agency is that inbound content creation is limited. Like I said, with a general agency, you can make content about anything. Whereas with a niche agency, you're limited to the mediums that your niche operates in. For example, plumbers aren't super active on Instagram or Twitter or maybe even LinkedIn. So you might have to try and contact them through Facebook or cold calling or emails. And you're really limited to the niche you pick, and you want to be very specific with that. For example, if you already have a Twitter following, then maybe e-commerce or SaaS or crypto would be where to go because all of those platforms and those companies are active on Twitter. And then the second thing is limited market / saturation. We're really early in the space still. It may not feel like it, but if you're watching this video now, I would recommend jumping on it because the space is still young and there's still a lot of opportunity here. So I wouldn't worry too much about a limited market or saturation. The one thing I would worry about is if a bunch of new AI automation agencies are flooding into the space. Be aware of the really popular niches because that's where the less experienced people will go. There might be some pushback on sales calls with, for example, realtors saying they got burned by someone in the past when they had them build a chatbot and they didn't deliver a good service. And that gives us AI agency owners, the good ones, a bad rap. And so just beware of that. But again, I wouldn't really worry about saturation. It hasn't mattered in SMMA to this point, but people are still making money and there's plenty of the pie left. If you're interested in being a niche agency, in my school community, I actually made a complete Excel spreadsheet. I think it's actually a Google sheet with a bunch of niches, the opportunity in them. And going off of that, I just want to speak a bit about the opportunity we have right now. Because AI is here to stay and everyone will need it. Like, this isn't like a question. This is when the internet came around. Like, every business will have a website. Every business will have AI. That's just the fact of the matter. And I have some stats here that by 2025, 95% of customer interaction. That means most businesses will have one of these AI chatbots or voice callers interacting with customers for them. And every business needs one of these built, and not every business has someone internally to build it or the time to, and so they'll hire AI agencies like you and me to build these for them. And since there's such a necessity, we can charge great prices for these. And then the next says that 75% of businesses will adopt AI by 2025. That's a ridiculous amount of money. Just signing 10 businesses on retainer can completely change your life, allow you to travel the world. And that's probably 0.00001% of the businesses that will adopt AI by 2025. That's in just another year from now. And then the AI industry as a whole is growing at 38% compounded year on year. I think it's going from about $100 billion industry to well over $1 trillion. That's a lot of money if you don't know. And so that's why I say don't really worry about saturation because there's so much money flooding into this field and it's new. And right now is the time to really become an expert in AI, capitalize on it, and change your life. So next we have choosing your service. So right now in the AI space, there's really two big services you can deliver, which are AI chatbots and AI voice agents. And so AI chatbots are basically just text-based chatbots. You might be more familiar with them. You'll see them at the bottom corner of websites. However, you can deploy them in Discord, WhatsApp, email, however you want. And then AI voice agents are just the voice version of that. Imagine calling a company and an AI answers. You may have already interacted with one of these, and these come in three different forms, which is inbound, which is, for example, someone going to a website, in the AI chatbot case, someone going to the company website and talking with a chatbot, or someone calling the company and talking with a voice agent. Outbound, which is if you're reaching out to people on email and automating that, or reaching out to people through Instagram DMs and automating that chatbot text-based service. Or for AI voice agents, say someone fills out a form or books a call and you have an AI follow up with them and call them and get more information for the call. Then lastly are internal tools. So this is inside of a business. Maybe you're onboarding a new employee or you're working for a business and they need an onboarding chatbot. So you build a chatbot that new employees can ask any question to this chatbot. It'll answer it for them instead of this person constantly having to go to their manager, or worse yet, just never knowing the answer and making a mistake. Here's just a couple examples of what you can build. If you're curious, there's a bunch of YouTube videos on this, including on my channel, as well as if you want to subscribe, which I recommend you do. I'll be building a lot of these and showing you how to build basic versions of these and connecting them. So, for example, there are WhatsApp bots, Discord bots, AI receptionists, both over the phone and over text, AI follow-up callers, and pretty much anything you could imagine, especially if you just look at any business and look at the repetitive jobs, or the jobs either no one is doing, no one wants to do, or jobs that cost a lot for someone to do. For example, receptionists often end up answering a lot of the same questions and doing the same tasks. And you can build an AI version of that, which will then save that company $60,000 to $80,000 a year, not including benefits, by replacing that worker. And so next, this will probably be the longest part of the video, but it's very important, and I actually encourage you to follow along so that by the end of this video, you'll have your very own AI agency. And this is super important, the software that you actually build your AI agency off of. One, that's pretty much a non-negotiable for me, at least as of right now, is Tixae Agents. It allows you to completely white label everything, including an entire client dashboard. It'll let you integrate both Vapi and Voiceflow into it so that it's super easy to upsell your clients. If you sell them on a voice agent, you can upsell them on a chatbot, and all that information is in one place. You can also make your own chatbots on there, and it's super easy to integrate with Discord, WhatsApp, as well as Instagram. And so Tixae Agents is a fantastic platform, and I actually work very closely with them, and I know the founders and the owners, and they're great people. They're working on some big projects. I'll show you how to set up everything in Tixae Agents. You can sign up for free. And then Vapi or other AI voice callers for creating voice agents, and then Voiceflow or other chatbot builders for creating text-based agents. I just said Vapi and Voiceflow specifically because they integrate really well with Tixae Agents. However, if you want to stray away from those or maybe prefer another platform, you can choose those, and I will be making tutorials on other platforms in the future, so make sure to stay tuned. And then lastly, Make.com or Zapier are the two big automation platforms, and if you're not sure what that does, simply put, it allows you to run functions in the midst of someone talking to one of these AIs. For example, if someone gives all their contact info, you can automatically book a call on someone's calendar by using one of these automation platforms like Make.com or Zapier. It also allows you to automatically send emails and updates, or even Slack messages or Discord messages, stuff like that. And so Make.com and Zapier is really where you go from like an okay, like serviceable chatbot to like you're really wowing your client at that point and doing stuff they didn't even know was possible. And so just to touch again on why these is Tixae Agents is a white label client interface as well as a chatbot builder and integrates very well with Vapi and Voiceflow. And then the voice platform to build AI voice agents, chatbot builder for text-based agents, and the automation platform for function calling. So now I'll give you a little tutorial. I'll actually set up my own agency in Tixae Agents on like a demo account and show you generally how to connect Vapi and then the built-in chatbot builder with Tixae Agents, because that's easier than connecting all of Voiceflow. However, if you want to make a more complicated chatbot or already made chatbots and no Voiceflow, then there's plenty of tutorials on how to actually connect Voiceflow. Okay guys, so here I am in Tixae Agents. Make sure you follow along, so by the end of this you'll have your own AI automation agency all set up. So when you log in, your screen will look generally like this. I already inputted a lot of the white label stuff just to save you the time of watching me type and import photos and stuff like that. But the biggest thing is right here, the agent builder. And just gonna make a quick demo agent. And really I'm gonna show off more of the white label features. I can do a full in-depth tutorial of Tixae Agents in the future. However, that's not the point of this video. This is just setting up your agency and everything you need for it. So here you can see an AI chatbot builder. If you're not familiar with this, don't get overwhelmed. This basically allows you to do anything any other AI chatbot builder will do. You can change the colors, change the branding. Tixae Agents actually has this thing called tabs, and their user interface is unmatched by any other platform. They actually started out as a user interface company based upon Voiceflow, if you know what that is. And so when it comes to user interface and user experience for chatbots, nothing even compares to Tixae Agents, especially when you consider their white label feature. I really do consider this a necessity for working in the space. If you're a prompt engineer, this should look familiar to you. Knowledge base, they have a cool thing in their knowledge base where you got a bunch of different sources, but specifically they have their own website crawler where you can actually crawl a website to make an entire knowledge base in really just a minute or two. The tool calling, once again, this is where I was talking about needing a platform like Make.com or Zapier and signing up for those. Here's their conversations tab where you can sort by channel, who handled it, stuff like that. They have this leads tab. Still need to mess around with this a lot, but I'm guessing if anyone comes in through your calls or talks to the chatbot, it'll save their info or whatever info it gathers from them here in this leads tab. And then in terms of analytics, pretty self-explanatory. And then channels is where I was talking about. You can deploy your agent to a variety of channels. What I really want to show is this agency page, because you're able to make your own agency name, branding text, password login for your clients, put your logos and your custom colors and branding on everything. You can even have your own domain. And then in terms of email, actually connected my custom email. So when they send notifications, client invitations and stuff, it'll come from my actual company's email. And then in terms of theme, you can see I added my colors. You can change the font. You can do dark mode and everything like that. If you're a coder, you can actually create custom tabs with its own front end and back end. And so we go here to clients, and once you have your domain and all your branding set up, you can actually create clients in here, drag your agent to them, and control everything that the client actually has access to. So if you go like organization info, you can change all their layouts and stuff like that. And then what they'll actually see is if you come here to domains, you go here, and then they'll have this little login page, and then they can log in through here, see all their agents, they can edit whatever they have access to, and everything like that. I'll do a full overview of this platform in the future, but you can see how useful it is because it not only lets you white label and seem a lot more professional in just 15-20 minutes of owning a company, it also delivers the best service to your clients. Now going back to the other softwares, again, all of these will be linked down below. Vapi and Voiceflow have a bunch of support on YouTube, as well as their Discords are great, as well as Tixae Agents. I actually have full tutorial on Vapi on my channel. If you want to check that out after this. I can also show you in the future how to connect Vapi to Tixae Agents, and then same with Voiceflow. And then Make.com and Zapier are a bit bigger than just the AI space, whereas these other platforms are specific to AI entrepreneurs like us. So there's also a bunch of support online for Make.com and Zapier. Personally, my own tech stack for building things for my clients is Tixae Agents paired with Vapi, and then I just build my chatbot straight on Tixae Agents. I don't mess around with Voiceflow. I would maybe use it if I had a very in-depth chatbot I had to build, but you can do 95% of things with just Tixae Agents, Vapi, and then I use make.com. Other people use Zapier, they're very similar. And again, all of that will be linked down below. You can check out my other videos to see generally how these chatbots are made. And now you know and have set up all the software you need to sign and deliver your product to clients. It's time to start finding some businesses. Now, there's a couple different ways to do this. And again, something I didn't actually mention, you might notice, is having a website or a CRM. When you're just getting started, just go all out, send a bunch of, just market the shit out of yourself, sign a client, and worry about all that stuff after. You can make a $10,000 agency without a website. It's really not that big of a deal. But if you want a website builder, I recommend Framer. I can link them down below as well. It's time to find some businesses. So here's a couple of the ways I really recommend, at least with where we're at in the space right now. Businesses are still a bit apprehensive to adopt AI. It's still very young. It's like when people were building websites and e-commerce stores in the early 2000s, late 90s, where not every company thought they needed it. And then it became very apparent just a decade later that if you didn't adopt the internet, you were out as a company. Look at Blockbuster, look at these big retail stores. These are the platforms where I found the most success with reaching tech-savvy owners and business owners, as well as entrepreneurs. LinkedIn is really good, especially if you're a niche agency, because it's super easy to target. It's easy to build authority on LinkedIn. And once again, it's just very good for niches because you can sort exactly by what you're looking for. And then really dial in your cold outreach, as well as make your own content on LinkedIn. And there's not a whole lot of competition on LinkedIn. It's mostly people looking for jobs, not people looking for clients. And so you can really stand out. Next, YouTube. That's something I've succeeded with a lot. However, it does take a lot of time and effort. It's not guaranteed and it's more of a slow burn. But after you get through that and you start creating, there's nothing that pays off more than one good YouTube video. I had a YouTube video, you can check it out. I'm making an AI receptionist in 25 minutes. I've made over $9,000 from just that YouTube video in clients I've signed, sponsorships, stuff like that. YouTube is great. It's also the best conversion because it's inbound. Now you can get that with LinkedIn and Twitter as well, and I'll touch on that. But when people are booking calls with you and you've never spoken to them before, you have such a higher chance to close them than if it was cold outreach. However, one other thing with YouTube is you really don't control the flow of calls. You could have 10 YouTube videos that all completely bomb, and your pockets are going to be dry for the next month or two because you're not signing anyone. Whereas if you find cold outreach that works, you can just crank that dial and have super consistent calls and sales. Speaking of that, on to cold outreach. Cold outreach is super proven. Whether it's email, whether it's Instagram, usually you should do a combination of multiple different platforms, whether it's LinkedIn or Twitter even. It's very proven. There's lots of information and tutorials on it. And there's a bunch of software, tools, courses to help you with cold outreach. However, it is lower conversion, and so you really need to crank up the volume on cold outreach, especially because, like I said, businesses are still sort of apprehensive to adopt these AI tools. And then lastly, Twitter. Twitter's good because it's very tech savvy. So if you're in the e-commerce or SaaS space, Twitter's a great place to start and create content as well as reaching out to people. I believe it's like $8 a month for verification. You can DM whoever. It's not super saturated. There's less Twitter content creators, at least in like the business space, than you think. It's usually people who got famous on another platform and they're just posting whatever they want on Twitter. From that, like with one tweet, you can grow a lot, whereas with YouTube, you sort of gotta be more consistent. LinkedIn, like generally, but it doesn't have the virality of Twitter where you can get a tweet with thousands and thousands of likes. Like that won't really happen with a LinkedIn post. And so those are the 4 ways I would definitely recommend for finding businesses. If you join my school community, I can talk a lot more about this. You can ask me whatever questions, as well as specifically YouTube I have experience with and strategies regarding that. So lastly, let's talk about selling. I like to keep it super simple. I'm not like some sales guru guy, like door to door, like demon. I like to keep it simple. I honestly like hate sales calls. I like to treat them more like a conversation than attacking it that I'm gonna take this person's money and put it in my pocket. I try and think of it, I'm trying to take my expertise and make this guy's business more money. And when you approach it that way, people can tell. And if they're making money, trust me, you'll make money. Rarely, I've actually never had a time where I've gotten good results for someone and have felt like I wasn't compensated fairly. And so I follow a simple 3-step sales process. And in my school community, I'll leave the scripts for all of these in there so that you can just copy what I do. The first step is the hook, just a free 15-minute intro call / consultation. Urge people to book a call. Really important to meet face-to-face over Zoom. It really helps the sales process. And on this 15-minute call, what you should be looking for is if you feel you're a good fit. You'll ask some questions, just generally seeing what AI solutions they might need. But the biggest thing you'll want to sense is just their vibe. Is this someone you want to work with? Is this someone where if you guys are working together for a year and you're spending like 3-4 hours with this person every week, that you'll want to do business with this person? And so I'd say the vibe on that first call is really what you're trying to send. After that call, you'll get all the information you need. And if you don't like them, just cut it off there. Don't do any more work. Just tell them it won't work out. However, if you feel like, hey, like this could work out, you'll want to scope the project and find a price. Now, I can make an entire video on this, or I'll have a little doc showing you generally how I do it. But just figure out how much time it would take you to build something like this. Maybe even build a quick demo. Generally, if you're building like an AI chatbot, like customer facing stuff or voice agent, I like to charge monthly. Don't charge less than like $300 a month. Pricing is a whole different demon in this space anyway, so I don't want to get too in depth on it, but you can charge anywhere from $300 to $1,000, $2,000 for these. And pricing I really like to base on how much value they're getting. If they're getting a high volume of calls and they end up making an extra $5,000 a month because all of their calls are answered, and they're getting all these new clients, then feel free to charge $1,000, $2,000 a month for this, because as long as they're making like more money than you, it's fine, like it's benefiting them. And then lastly, you'll close them on the strategy session. Generally, these can go 45 to 60 minutes only if this person has a lot of questions. I found if someone's eager, you can close them in 20 minutes. Some people like to talk a lot and it'll go like 90 minutes. But generally on this call, you want to go through your script. Don't follow it too tightly. You want to show them the product, the demo you made. You want to give them the price, sign them on, collect payment on the call. That's super important. And then because a lot of people just bail after the call and then they don't get your service, their business stays stagnant and so does yours, and nobody benefits and everybody's time was wasted. Collect payment on the call. Number one piece of advice. And then at the end of the call, you'll just want to let them know the next steps, their login information, everything. I've been recording for 42 minutes. It's probably going to be closer to like just over half an hour for you. And so in just half an hour, you actually just started an AI business. You know exactly who to sell to, what to sell, how to find them, and how to sell it to them. And you basically have a client now. And so I just want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure to sign up for my school community and follow on my socials to keep up with everything. Subscribe here for more tutorials, as well as I'll update everybody in my school community. And once again, I just want to stress, the AI automation agency has literally changed. I was like actually broke, like about to go in debt. And now life is good. There's so much less stress, and I'm genuinely excited and allowed to be creative in the job I have. And thankfully, I've never even had to really work a 9-to-5 in my life. And entrepreneurship is like a dream come true for me now. And so thank you guys for watching. I hope I can bring that same happiness and joy to your guys' lives and help you with creating an AI agency that changed your life like it changed mine. So thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.